Aeronautics, hosted by Elara Securities India Private Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touch-tone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Harshit Kapadia from Elara Securities India Private Limited. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Calvin. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Elara Securities, we welcome you all for the Q4FY23 and FY23 conference call of Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. I take this opportunity to welcome the management of Hindustan Aeronautics, represented by Shri C.B. Ananthakrishnan, Director Finance and CEO, with additional charge of Chairman and Managing Director. Shri Jayadeva EP, Director Operation, with additional charge of Director HR, along with their team members. We will begin the call with a brief overview by the management, followed by a Q&A session. I will now hand over the call to Ananthakrishnan sir for his opening remarks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon to all of you, and we welcome to fourth quarter financial year results of 2023 earnings call. First and foremost, I express my sincere gratitude to all of you for being present today to interact with us and to get all the clarifications and the future prospects of HAL. I have with me Mr. E.P. Jayadeva, Director Operations, who is also holding the additional charge of Director HR, Company Secretary, Mr. Bansal, and all other senior officials. As you are aware, we have declared our financial results for the FY22-23, and this call is intended to clarify all the questions you have on the company's performance. The financial year, as you are all aware, has been a very eventful year as far as HAL is concerned. In fact, if you recall, at the beginning of the year, we started the year with sort of a revenue deficit of almost 6,000 crores between the executable orders on hand and the revenue target for the year. In fact, the manufacturing orders were all getting depleted, so we were all wondering as to the 6,000 crores we were how to meet this gap. The year was even more challenging considering the business environment amidst your global economic uncertainties, certain limited supply chain disruptions, and other challenging reasons. However, we have shown some sort of a resilience and adaptability navigating these challenges and could rather post a very strong set of numbers, which we will discuss subsequently. FY22-23 in general and second half of the year in particular have witnessed some significant events. As you are aware, the Honorable Prime Minister of India has dedicated our Greenfield helicopter project, one of the biggest in the country, at Tumkuru to the nation. He also on that occasion unveiled the light utility helicopter of HAL, designed and developed by HAL. Again, in a major boost to indigenization, our Honorable Prime Minister has unveiled the STT-40 at DefExpo 22 during October 22. HAL also has concluded on that occasion 70 numbers of STT trainers valued at around 7,000 crores approximately. HAL L&T Consortium again has bagged the rupees 860 crore contract for end-to-end realization of these 5 polar satellite launch vehicles PSLV from the New Space India Limited. This I have been mentioning because this is one of the major forays of HAL into the aerospace industry, especially the space sector, in collaboration with the private industry for delivering the satellites to the Israel, Indian Space Research Organization. Now, as far as the financial performance are concerned, we had a very robust financial results being posted in last FY22-23. Our revenue, we have reached record revenue of almost 26,900 crores as against 24,600 crores in the previous year, registering a growth of almost 9% plus. In fact, our initial guidance, we have always been maintaining at 8%, and we said that we will reach a double-digit growth from 24-25 onward. And in fact, I would say with confidence we are progressing quite well, so that we could achieve a revenue target of growth of 9.37% in the last financial year. This year would be no different from that. We will be further strengthening that. And as we have indicated in the few last calls, we will be able to reach a double-digit growth of 10% from 24-25 onwards. As the manufacturing segment, yes, it has remained subdued owing to certain lower platforms available for execution. However, the shortfall we could make good through the execution of the repair and overall orders. And this trend expected to continue in the current financial year as well. And from the next year onwards, the manufacturing numbers will start picking up once we start delivering the platforms, basically the LCA Mark 1A. Similarly, from 24-25 onwards, apart from your LCA Mark 1, we will also expect significant improvement towards the delivery of your HTT-40 aircraft, which is expected to commence from September 24 onwards, and 25 ALH, additional ALH, and AL-31FP, which is the Sukhoi engine contracts once we start executing that. PBT has registered an increase of almost 24%. It has grown to 6,500 crores approximately from 5,231 crores in the previous financial year. Basically, one of the reasons has been that the increase in the interest income, which has also accrued to us on account of two reasons. One is the LP cash balance, and the second one is the refund of the long disputed income tax dispute which was there with the department, which also got settled in the last year. The upward trend of the interest rates has helped the company on the non-operating income front. We have received an interest income of almost 900 crore plus from the surplus balances as against almost approximately 400 crores in the previous year. In addition, in the current year, we have also received an interest, as I have indicated earlier, an interest of almost 560 crores from the department, income tax department, on account of the refund which were against the disputed amounts which are lying with them. Incidentally, I would also like to take this opportunity to inform you that we have settled this long pending dispute with the income tax department and have received almost 2,451 crores as tax refund and rupees 830 crores as interest from the department in the last 2 years, that is for FY22-23 and FY21-22. This has settled the tax dispute with the department for all the financial years starting from 2008 onwards to 2015-16. We are quite comfortable now having settled all the disputes with them. In line with this increase in the PBT, and the PAT has also comparatively improved. The PAT growth also has been quite substantial at around 14%. In fact, I have seen that many people have observed that there is a decline in PAT on the fourth quarter of 22-23 as compared to the corresponding period of 21-22. We would like to clarify here, the fourth quarter 22, the real profit after tax has not come down. It is only because of certain adjustments in income tax refund, which was at a higher, the refund which we have got in the last fourth quarter was slightly higher at 1,200 crores as against some 700 crores during the previous fourth quarter. So if you adjust for the same, the PAT has grown at around 10% even in the fourth quarter. This is purely on operating PAT has grown at around 10%. EBITDA for the year has stood at around 31% of the revenues as compared to the long-term trend of around 25 to 26%. This again, I would like to clarify that may not be sustainable at 31%. We will settle down at around 26-27%. This increase in the EBITDA for the current financial year is mainly on account of certain amortization, which is excess amortization, which we have got in the current financial year of almost close to 600 crores on account of the HTT contract which we have finalized in the last year. Similarly, on the dividend front, I think we are quite, we've been rewarding to all the investors. We have paid one final dividend of last financial year 21-22 and two interim dividends, all totaling to almost 50 rupees per share, which works out to almost 500% of the face value of rupees 10 per share. On the order book, you will all be interested quite as we have always been maintaining. In fact, in the last earnings call also we have mentioned that around 80 to 83,000 crores. In spite of liquidating the orders, still the order book remains at a healthy 82,000 crores approximately. We have almost liquidated 26,000 crores of orders in the last financial year. This was also possible because of fresh order accretion of almost 26,000 crores during the year. Major orders, as I have already indicated, 70 numbers of HTT-40 and 6 Dornier, all valued at almost 9,000 crores. And another 800 crores of PSLV from New Space India Limited we have got. All these are added to the order book position. And balance order flow, as you are aware that repair and overall there has been always been an accretion to the order book and almost 18,000 crores of repair and order accrues every year. Again, the fresh orders we are expecting the new orders to come through from 25 numbers of advanced light helicopter through 12 numbers of LUH, light utility helicopters, and again the engines for the AL-31FP and RD-33 engines for mixed series of aircrafts. So all these cost negotiations have all been completed and these are all in the advanced stages of completion. So we expect an annual, estimated order value of almost 48,000 crores to get concluded in the coming financial year, which means within a time span of 6 to 10 months. Further, on the maritime UHM, maritime helicopter 60 numbers, AON has already been approved. And Coast Guard 9 helicopters also AON has all put. That is an acceptance of necessity, which means that there is a very clear visibility towards these orders for HAL in the next 2 to 3 years time frame. As far as the utility helicopter, that UHM maritime helicopter is concerned, we will be receiving a sanction for the first, initially for the sanction will be for the design and development and subsequently it will be followed by the procurement order. Similarly, we have completed the LCS, that is a light combat helicopter, 15 numbers, and we expect bigger orders on this on light combat helicopter. We are in advanced stages of negotiations with the vendor. They are with the customer. They are identifying the additional systems which are required for the light combat helicopters. And once it is getting finalized, the AON also will be getting approved. And this is also expected at around 45,000 crores, including the optional and role equipments put together. This will be an anticipated order. This again, there is some visibility which will happen in the next 2 to 3 year time frame. In addition, we also anticipate the LUH light utility helicopters of additional order of almost 175 numbers, which should, these are all anticipated, for which visibility is there, but the AONs and other things, the process will start subsequently. Similarly, the additional HTT-40 and upgrades on Dornier aircrafts. So once these orders are fructified, the order book positions will further get strengthened and put us on a higher trajectory of growth, which we have been promising to achieve a double-digit growth from 24-25 onwards. We are also trying to take some very significant efforts to promote our international business. With the wide range of indigenous platforms, we are aggressively pursuing some of the export leads from the countries. Various countries we have received the export leads from Algeria, Argentina, Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, Middle East, and we have quite involved in these various discussions, and we are awaiting one breakthrough order to happen, which we are very positive it should happen in the next 1 year time frame. HAL also has been one of the major beneficiaries of this Government of India's Atmanirbharta and self-reliance initiatives. Now, many of our platforms and systems which HAL is manufacturing are appearing in the positive indigenization rate, which should mean that imports will not be there, and HAL will be the production agency and supplying agency for these platforms. It will help HAL in securing fresh orders and also fulfill the requirement of the defense forces within the framework of the country. These efforts will not only benefit HAL but also to the Indian ecosystem of various vendors and suppliers. To conclude, I will not take much time. I would say that we are committed towards excellence and will continue to propel the nation towards the Atmanirbharta in defense aerospace manufacturing through our indigenous design capabilities which we have developed over a period of almost 7 decades. I think all in all, the future of HAL appears quite bright, and with all these initiatives towards indigenization and self-reliance, we are quite sure that the growth trajectory of HAL is very sound and strong. I think with this, I will open the floor for further questions and clarifications which you will have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to only use handsets while asking questions. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Amit Dixit from ICICI Securities. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, hi. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for this opportunity. Congratulations for a good set of numbers. I have 2 questions. The first one pertains to actually LCA Mark 1A. In certain sections of media, it has appeared that this project could be delayed by a few months. So just wanted to get your thoughts on when we can expect LCA Mark 1A to be executed, and when do you expect it, the manufacturing to start and deliveries to start?
Yeah. See, as per the contracted delivery schedule, the delivery should come on from February 24 onwards, and in the current financial year, we are supposed to deliver 1 fighter and 2 trainers, 3 aircrafts during the current financial year. And we are on the track. We are on track. In fact, it also involves the Mark 1A also involves the certification of many of the systems which are added on to LCA Mark 1. And we are along with the ADA, that is the Aeronautical Development Agency, we are working towards achieving these certification processes well in time so that the deliveries also will happen. As of now, even though there are, we are working on a very tight schedule with many of the systems to get certified. We have already started build of the aircraft, and the aircraft structure should become available, which will by June or by before June, and the next 3 to 4 months. And after that, the systems also, as and when it gets certified, it will get fitted into that, and we will be in a position to have the ground test and things like that happening in the next 8 to 10 months time frame. So we are working towards meeting the delivery timelines. Probably even if there are going to be some sort of delays, it may not be very significant. It may be, we are confident that we should be able to work on those delays and see that these aircrafts are delivered as per the contracted delivery schedule.
So just to follow up on this, what is the delivery schedule like? How many are you expected to deliver in FY 25, 26, 27, like that?
As per the contracted delivery schedule, it is 16 numbers starting from 24, 25 onwards. 3 to be there in the current financial year, and 16 are to be delivered every year. Peak load of delivery is 16 numbers. In fact, you may be aware that recently we have also started putting up a 3rd line in Nashik division to see that how these deliveries could be expedited. While 16 numbers we will be able to meet from our facilities in Bangalore, we wanted to increase these numbers so that the deliveries could be at a faster rate, and we will be in a position to conclude the complete delivery within at least a year before what has been contracted to the delivery schedule. So as I've said, even though there could be some, even if 1 or 2 aircraft we fall short in the current financial year, we will be able to make good with our additional capacities in the subsequent years.
Wonderful, sir. The second question is essentially on the order book accretion. You have mentioned that in terms of manufacturing, there is a possibility of 48,000 crores order accretion this year. Can you enumerate the similar number for ROH and development also?
Yeah, ROH, we expect the order book accretion year on year will be on an average, it should be around 18,000 crores, 17,000 to 18,000 crores. So that will only keep increasing. But as of now, we maintain an average order book of, towards ROH should be, on an annual basis, 18,000 crores should be the accretion.
And development?
Development orders, that depends again on certain sanctions which will come through. We are also not waiting for the development orders to come through. We are also funding it internally from our resources. And as and when it comes through, we will be able to take it on. But we are sure that the development, that the IMRH program will be coming through. Then your LCH phase 2 systems, when it is going to be there, this will be an addition to development orders. And similarly, certain portion of your AMCA portion also will come through. UHM will be there. UHM sanctions will be there. So all these would mean the development orders also will substantially increase. But as of now, we will not be able to commit the number on development orders because we have started discussing with them right now.
So just a follow-up on this ROH, what is the execution period like, 17 to 18,000 crores?
That is on an year-on-year basis. Our execution time frame is within 1 year, 12 months period.
Wonderful, sir. I have a few other questions. I will get back in the queue. Thanks and all the best.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to ensure that the management is able to address questions from all participants in this conference, please limit your questions to 2 per participant. Should you have a follow-up question, we request you to rejoin the queue. We shall take the next question. The next question is from the line of Charanjit Singh from DSP Mutual Fund. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, hello, sir. First of all, congratulations on good set of numbers. And so my first question is that in terms of this engine framework contract which we've been talking about for a long time, at what stage it is, and do we see this getting finalized in the next 6 months time frame? Because then the election and that code of conduct, can it impact some of the order inflow finalizations what we are expecting? That's my first question.
Which engine framework you are talking about?
So the AL31.
AL31, the 240 numbers of engines which we are, already in the advanced stages of negotiations. We have completed the CNCs also. That is, the contract negotiations has been over with the customer. Now the process is on for putting up the paper for CCS approval, and we are sure that we will be able to get this order in the current financial year. It is quite an advanced stage. We will be able to conclude it within the next 6 months to 8 months time frame.
And sir, what will be the total value of this order?
Total value of this order should be around 26,000 crores.
Okay, sir. So the other question is on the export side. You have touched upon, that there is some opportunity which is emerging. So if you can just, give us more details in terms of what kind of platform, what we are looking at in the export market. And we had earlier also participated in, one of the international export orders. So what is giving us the confidence, and what will be the quantum of this order when we are looking at the exports potential?
We are working on countries like Philippines, Argentina, Egypt, Sri Lanka, Maldives, Botswana, Thailand and Nigeria on fixed-wing LCA as well as our rotary-wing helicopters like ALH, LUH and LCH. So these are the major countries we are working on, and we have submitted our proposals to all these countries, various for the helicopters as well as fixed wing, and we are following up with our leads in both our defense channels as well as our their services. So right now, one or two leads are in the advanced stage. For example, Philippines, extent Argentina. The rest are all we are trying to further impress upon them to consider these proposals, and then we are pushing our case with them.
And sir, how large these initial orders could be for us?
Initial orders could be to the extent of around, to start with, we are looking for some foray into ALH platform. So that could be to the tune of around 150 million to start with.
Got it, sir. Sir, lastly, sir, on the spare side, earlier we had, certain issues in terms of getting the spares from Russia. So now, how is in terms of the supply chain, any, issues where we need to worry about, or have we resolved that? And what is the level of indigenization now we are looking at on the spare side? Yeah.
See, the supply chain, yes, there have been some sort of concerns because of this geopolitical conflict, especially from the Russian side. But so far, we have been able to manage those sort of disruptions, if at all. There have been some delays, but that it is getting normalized, and we have started getting the supplies. And I feel that there may not be a big issue. We will be able to manage that. But as you may be, I would like to also highlight here that so far in the last 2 years, in spite of all these COVID disruptions as well as the subsequent geopolitical conflict, HAL has always been in a position to maintain the operations without any disruptions, and the fleet serviceability has also not been affected. We are very confident that with our channels being open up with the Russians, we will be able to get the supply chain continuous without any disruptions. Certain payments issues were there, which also has been sorted out. Now we are in a position to, some of our payments are also going through. So we will be able to, our intent is to maintain the fleet. We will not have difficulty. We will be able to maintain those fleets.
Got it, sir. Sir, that's all from my side. Thanks for taking my questions.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Aditya from Securities Investment Management Company. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. My first question is on the grounding of ALH issue. So what I understand is that we are going to replace aluminium control rods with the steel rods. So with this change, have all the issues been resolved, or there are still some pending design or any other issues? And when can we expect the armed forces to start flying the ALH? And secondly, if you could also help us understand, how has this issue impacted the future order book of the company, especially the 25 ALH order, which we are expecting, and also the 140 LCH order, which we are expecting the next 1 to 2 years, as LCH and ALH have similar designs and engines. So will there be a delay in these orders or any other orders because of this issue?
Okay. As you are aware, we landed in 3 incidents back-to-back during the last 2 months, 2.5 months. Actually, that has put us a little bit on some back foot. But we would like to mention here, all these accidents are not from due to similar issues. They are all different issues, not attributable to one issue only. And that's how it is. Not attributable to the same problem. So there's no design problem attributable to design in all these 3 helicopters as of now. Out of these, 2 have already been somewhat preliminary investigations have been completed. The third one is still under investigations. We would not like to comment on that. But otherwise, the design adequacy has been reinforced again, and we feel that there is no requirement to redesign the whole the helicopter wherever these problems are encountered. But as a precautionary measure, or to avoid the further reinforce, earlier the control rods were of aluminium, but now we have decided to go into steel, so that these steel are more damage tolerant, and if some sort of a misalignment or some maintenance issues are there, they can be more accommodative. And that is the reason why we are going for some steel rods now. It is nothing to do with the design adequacy as such. So the helicopters are safe in the present configuration also. So that is how it is as of now. So, and other fleet owners are still flying the helicopters. So everybody has not grounded the helicopters as of now. Sorry. And if you see the helicopter accident rate of ALH, it has gone for almost 3.9 lakh hours all put together. And we have incidents of around 7.3 or 7.4 per million hours, and per lakh hours. So this is considered to be very good indication of safety of the helicopter comparing to other international players. And during the last 2 years also, we have got a very good record of number of accidents being very, very less compared to normal average, which is worldwide case. So we feel that ALH is in good hands, and then design has been robust, and then this doesn't have any impact on the future orders for ALH, either be it UHM or for any other further requirements. Our defense services are, they're quite confident of this machine.
Now, just to add to what our Director of Operations have said, as far as this ALH, since it has been a back-to-back accident which has happened, there have been some concerns. But otherwise, it is, as we have the preliminary investigations revealed, this is not really a major concern as far as the design of helicopter is concerned. Whatever the certain smaller issues which are coming up, which need to be reinforced, HAL is very confident that we will be able to get through that. And one more thing which we would like to mention is that the fleet has now not that all the fleets have been grounded. I understand that one of the services is still flying. The other services, Air Force is flying. The other Army only has grounded it. And Army also, once we get the preliminary checks done, they will also fly. But this fleet is not going to be, because it has been in operation for the last almost 20 plus years. And just a bit of statistics on this. Up to 2018, almost 18 years, we have flown almost close to 2 lakh hours with an accident of almost 19 accidents, which translates into some 9.1 or 9.2 per lakh hours. And after 2018, we have exploited the machine because the numbers have increased, and it has equally flown another 2 lakh hours in the last 4-5 years. And there the accident rate, it is somewhere around 11. And because of this back-to-back accident, it has in fact reduced it. And this is not to justify the accident. This is only to give you confidence that this aircraft is a very robust aircraft, proven aircraft and tested aircraft, and the design capabilities and things like that. It is a continuous improvement which we will have to make. It is not something which only because of accidents which is happening, which we are trying to improve on the design capabilities, but it is a continuous improvement which we will keep to make. But we are very confidently, we can tell that this mission is a very proven mission, and there is nothing concern about that, except that unfortunate incident which has happened in the last 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, thanks for the detailed explanation. I just had a follow-up. So just wanted to know what will be the cost of rectifying the replacement of these control rods or any other issues which are identified, because we'll have to replace this for all the fleet of 300 ALH. So what will be the approximate cost of rectifying this, and will we be getting compensated from the armed forces?
See, as far as this, first of all, that it has to be established that as to what is all needs replacement, and that sort of thing, as we understand from the preliminary investigations, it is not going to be anything very major except for these control rods. Again, it is not going to be an expensive proposition to convert it from aluminum to steel rods. The cost as of now, we don't anticipate much cost. It is, it should be in the range of around 150 to 200 crore, and moreover, we are also having a warranty cover for many of these aircrafts. So the cost will not majorly impact the profitability of company, and it is going to be very not major cost. As I'm told, it could be in the range of not more than 200 crores.
Sure, sir. I had another question regarding our ROH revenue. So we had an ROH revenue of around 18,800 crore this year. So if it will just broadly split, what would be the contribution of top 3 or 4 major platforms like Su-30 ALH and engines in our ROH revenue? And secondly, what kind of growth can we expect from ROH in the next 2 to 3 years, and what will contribute? Which platforms will contribute to such growth?
The ROH revenue for 22-23, I will give some of the major platforms which have contributed to this revenue. One is that Sukhoi 30 repair and overall, 20 numbers of repair and overall has happened, which earlier it was somewhere around 18 and 15 to 18 and then to 20 now peak load. And we are further confident of increasing it to another 2 to 3 numbers extra from in the current financial year. The second one is the engines, AL31 FP engines repair and overall. Some 76 numbers have already been done in the current year. Our target is to reach to a number of around 95 to 100 in the current financial year, to a maximum of around 105. Then rotables, of course, the various rotables also that keeps increasing. That contributed to around 1,000 crores in the last financial year. And as far as the ALH is concerned, almost 30 numbers of ALH has been repair and overhauled in the last financial year. All these have been contributing to the top line growth of revenue, repair and overhaul, apart from the increase in the supply of spares, which also contributed to almost close to 5,000 crores. So this sort of pattern is likely to continue in the current financial year as well, with a marginal increase in the repair and overhaul activity. But from the next year onwards, the growth in the repair and overhaul will be at around 5 to 6%. But overall, since it will be also be manufacturing also will pick up, so we'll be able to maintain the overall growth.
Mr. Aditya, we request that you return to the question queue for follow-up questions. We shall take the next question. The next question is from the line of Harshit Patel from Equirus Securities. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, sir. My first question was on HTT-40. You mentioned that we will be starting the deliveries from September 2024. So what will the delivery schedule look like? How many units we are planning for FY25, and then what would be the schedule from FY26 on?
Sorry, if I have told it is September 24, it is not September 24, it is September 25, because we have concluded the contract in last year. It is T0 plus 24 months. And if it is, it will start commencing from September 25 and an average delivery of 16, 12, 18, 20. Almost 20 aircraft. Again, it is peak delivery will be at 20. We will start with the 12 and then 16 and then 20. But there again, we are trying to expedite the delivery schedule to meet at around 20 from the second year onwards, so that we could get the contract concluded earlier, because we are expecting another 36 numbers to come from, and also some potential for exports also is there.
Understood, sir. Sir, my second question is on the engine orders. You mentioned that we will be receiving the orders for AL31FP and RD33 in financial year 24. So, sir, now here, what will be the execution schedule as to will this also follow T plus 24, T plus 36 kind of timeline, or we will immediately start the production?
We are planning to start immediately. The production is to commence immediately. In fact, already we are also concluding our contract negotiations with the Russian suppliers, so that we will not be waiting for this order to get concluded and start working out with the vendors. We already commenced, so we are confident that we will be able to start delivering from 24-25 onwards. Both these engines, RD33 and in fact RD33 we are also planning in the current financial year. When the moment contract is concluded, we will start delivering the numbers.
Mr. Harshit, we request that you return to the question queue for follow-up questions. The next question is from the line of Umesh Raut from Phillip Capital. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity. So, my first question pertains to one of the major prospects that we have in the form of LCA Mark II, where as per some of the media sources, now we are facing the challenge of signing TOT contract for supply of engine Q414. So, I want to know what is exactly the status for development of LCA Mark II, and would this TOT delay will hamper development timeline for LCA Mark II?
See, LCA Mark II design is almost design of all the parts is almost completed, and shortly we are going to launch the prototype production at HAL. Regarding the engine production also, we have given our in fact, we are the production agency for GE414 earlier. Also, our engine division in Bangalore has been identified as a production agency. Recently, we have given our willingness to be part of this also, reinforced our willingness to ADA also. ADA is taking up with GE and the US government to see that the TOT is given to the full extent. After that, we are expecting the contract to be concluded once the ADA gets the CCS sanction in full form.
But sir, do you see any major challenge in signing TOT with GE?
No, we're not finding any problem with the TOT with the GE. We'll be manufacturing the engine at HAL.
In fact, just to add to that, today the sort of our strategies with all our suppliers, including the engine manufacturers, is quite clear. If at all they have to do business in India, they will have to have the TOT and the manufacturing facility established within the country. So we are working with all our OEMs towards that, and we are confident that that will happen. And because they also have understood that once if they have to do business with India and with HAL, they will have to have the facilities established in the country. So we will be able to negotiate to our requirement of having the full TOT getting done within India.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. My second question is related to the bookkeeping. So, we have booked about 770 crores of HTT40 development revenue in this quarter, but I believe there is no cost which is booked above or before EBITDA, while we have booked about 600 crores of amortization only. So, is that assumption correct?
Yeah, your assumption is correct because it is all related to design and development and especially the intangible assets, which we had it in our books, our unamortized portion. And that's when the moment we got the sanction, we have also recognized it as part of our revenue and also released it as part of our amortization, removing it from the intangible asset from the balance sheet. So you are correct. Is it clear?
Mr. Umesh, we request that you return to the question queue for follow-up questions. We shall take the next question. The next question is from the line of Hardik Jain from ISJ Private Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. So all my questions are answered. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. We shall move to the next questioner then. The next questioner is from the line of Jonas Bhutta from Birla Mutual Funds. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir, and congratulations on good set of numbers. Sir, just a bookkeeping question. Firstly, can you give us the quantity of aircraft and helicopters produced in the current year, FY23?
Yeah. FY23, we have produced 7 numbers of ALH, 2 numbers of LCA, and the AL31FP some 6 numbers, light combat almost 8 numbers, Dornier 2 numbers, and LCHF 8 numbers. These are the platforms which we have manufactured in the last financial year.
And deliveries would be, out of these deliveries would be how much, sir?
These are all delivered. All the, as per our Q423, as we call it, the documentation for delivery, it has all been delivered.
And for FY24, you said you will manufacture 2 Mark 1As in terms of Tejas, but I thought there are trainers of the earlier version, Mark 1. Trainers are still left. So
yeah.
So total deliveries of Tejas this year would be how much?
We are expecting minimum of 6 plus 2, 8 numbers to be delivered in the current financial year as far as the LCA trainers are concerned.
Got it. And my final question was, sir, in terms of, while it's appreciated that we've launched the third line in Nashik also for LCA, so if you can tell us, the man-hour rates that were man-hour requirements from the first plane to the 83rd plane, what kind of reductions we've assumed, roughly, that will help.
No, it is Nashik division will be, the sort of productivity levels will be definitely as good as the Bangalore-based divisions, LCA division and aircraft division. So we have factored all of those things in our contract when we had finalized it to take the average hours. So and the average hours which has been now considered for the contract purposes will continue to be in the Nashik division as well, since the productivity levels remains more or less the same and the labor cost it will be maintained.
And we have achieved most of the learning from IOC and FOC, all 32 aircraft fighters we have produced. So most of the learnings we have achieved. And in Mark 1A, it's only new systems, 4 new systems are there. So that is not much of a scope for learning now. Of course, we'll have to do at Nashik a little bit learning will be there, but in Bangalore, all the people are conversant with all the production activities.
Mr. Jonas, we request that you return to the question queue for follow-up questions. The next question is from the line of Mahesh Bendre from LIC Mutual Funds. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Sir, given the current order book and so many orders are in pipeline and the delivery you're talking about, what kind of growth one could we expect from our company over the next 2-3 years? If I look at last year, we grew only by 9%. And if I look from FY19 onwards, we have hardly grown by 4-5% CAGR. So if I have to look for next 3 years, what kind of growth one should expect from the company?
See, from 19, the last 4 years, last 5 years, the average CAGR has been at around 7.7%. So the growth it has not been at 4%. I do not know how it has been computed at 4%. We have been growing at a rate of almost 7% in the last 4 to 5 years. That apart, it is not something which we have not indicated. Even in the last year, we have been maintaining that this current FY23 and FY24, the growth will be at single-digit growth of 7 to 8%. In fact, last year at 9%, we have improved our guidance and had grown at an extra percentage point to 9%. And the current financial year also, we have been maintaining that it will be a single-digit growth only, and it will be at around 9% is what we have achieved. But we are inching towards the double-digit growth, which we had promised to be there from FY25 onwards. And we expect from FY25 it will be a double-digit growth, and after that we expect the growth to stabilize, to grow at around 12 to 13%, and then stabilize at around 14 to 15%.
Thank you. Mr. Mahesh, we request that you return to the question queue for follow-up questions. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to ensure that the management is able to address questions from all participants in this conference, please limit your questions to one per participant. Should you have a follow-up question, we request that you rejoin the queue. We shall take the next question in the meantime. The next question is from the line of Viraj from Jupiter Financial. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir, and congratulations on good numbers. I have one question. Since FY24, you're guiding around a 13-14% growth. Is it be fair to assume even the net margins would be in a range of double digits?
FY25, we have been maintaining it will be a double-digit growth, but we have not indicated it will be somewhere around 10%, 10 to 11%. It will be beyond FY25, we will be improving the double-digit margins to 12%, and then subsequently we expect it to get stabilized at 15%. As far as the profitability is concerned, the growth, because we are again, as you are aware, it is a profit policy we have been governed by a profit policy, and all the improved profitable margins which we are getting is because of the improved efficiencies which we are trying to operate at, with more of improving the productivity, and also through outsourcing and other involving more of private industry. So this would mean that the profitability levels at this present, our operating profit in today's scenario is somewhere around 17 to 18%, and this is the percentage which is a quite healthy percentage for an industry like us, and we are more or less be around that. Maybe we may be marginally improving year on year, but definitely it will not be any substantial increase will be there as far as the operating profit growth is concerned. It will be hovering somewhere around 18-19%.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Vivek N. from Shanti. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. My question is again around the growth of HAL. We've been stable and growing gradually, but given that the amount of orders that are there from the government, there are so many in different areas and almost a monopolistic kind of supplying that we are doing. Do you see in the next 2-3 years there will be a drastic increase in the top line, at least for HAL, and it will then settle at, because we are just 3 billion if you see top line, and if you see the top 5 manufacturers in the US, because these are the largest firms, they contribute to 350 billion annually. And HAL being the top provider of these solutions in the country, do you think there will be a drastic improvement in the top line and therefore reduction in the revenue? Thank you.
Now, considering all the factors which are favorable to HAL and the order book pipeline which is envisaged, is what we have projected a double-digit growth from 25 onwards, and then subsequently to improve the double-digit growth, which will settle somewhere around 15%. But this has all been, this growth has been with all the factors which we have been just mentioning, like a very robust order book position with very clear visibility, and also being HAL being a major player in the industry, and with so much of design and development projects on the anvil. So all this would mean that we will definitely have a good order book position, but the execution timeline is also there. And with the execution timeline which we envisage, the growth of at around 14 to 15% should be good enough for HAL at this point of time.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Shirom Kapoor from Prabhudas Lilladher. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks for the opportunity. I just wanted to understand in the 48,000 crore order pipeline that you mentioned for FY24, you said the AL31 engines will be about 26,000 crores, the 240 number. For the remaining orders in the pipeline, like your 80 RD33 engines and your 25 ALH, 12 LUH, 12 Su-30s and 9 coast helicopters, could you give the breakup of what the potential order values would be for each of them?
Yeah, 48,000 basically major project which is included, major contract is, as you have indicated, it is 240 numbers of AL31FP, which is around 26,000 crores. Your RD33 is again some 80 numbers, which is expected to be around 4,500 crores. And 25 advanced light helicopter group should be around 3,500 crores. And similarly, the light utility helicopters of 12 numbers should be in the range of almost 2,500 crores. And of course, that additional Su-30 is what we are envisaging, additional another 12 numbers. If it also materializes, that will give us an additional order of almost 12,000 crores. So all this would make up for 48,000 crores, which we expected to realize in the current financial year.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Abhineet from MK Global. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the prospect that you talked about for the next 2-3 years, I think one was in terms of LCH, which was 45,000 crores. The others were, LUH, marine helicopter and others. If you can just quantify what could be those in terms of value.
See, we have got almost AON approved, that is an acceptance of necessity approved. I mean, other than what the projects which I have just now indicated, where the anticipated contract and which we'll get to conclude in the current financial year, I'm leaving all of those things. Other than that, the AON approved projects for which the negotiations is yet to commence, or rather the RFP has yet to be given, is on this ALH Coast Guard of 9 numbers for which A1 has been approved. Now the RFP will get floated and we will be submitting our scope. Similarly, that UHM, that is a supply contract of 60 numbers, which will happen after once the sanction for development comes through, and once we start developing the aircraft, then the supply contract should come. That is another 20,000 crores. So similarly, the PBL contract for UHM, which we will be supplying, is another 13,000 crores. So the visibility where the AON, that is an acceptance of necessity, has been approved, where there is certainty of orders to HAL, is around 36,000 crores. So this process will start anytime in the current financial year and will get concluded in the next 2 to 3 years timeline. And similarly, further, where AON has not been approved, that is where visibility is there, where we are confident of getting the order, but where the AON is still to be approved, is towards this light combat helicopter Prashant SP contract, where 145 numbers we are indicating. Similarly, the light utility helicopter, another 175 numbers is what we estimate. Then your trainer STT-40, for which we have received 70, 36 additional we are likely to get. Of course, Dornier Navy and the Dornier upgrades, Navy and the upgrade of IAF. That is again an upgrade program for which almost 60 numbers is expected. So this broadly would mean that the AONs which has not been approved also, for which visibility is there, is another 65,000 crores. So 36,000 crores for already AON approved, and 65,000 crores is what, in our opinion, we will get the AONs approved, which will happen in the next 2 to 5 year time frame.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Bhavin Vitlani from SBI Mutual Funds. Please go ahead.
Good evening, and sir, congratulations for good numbers.
Thank you.
Just one question. In the ROH, if you could give the revenue breakup of Su-30 and the engines, that will be very helpful.
You are talking about the last financial year, that is at FY23?
Yeah, FY23 as well as FY22. It will be very helpful.
Yeah. FY22 in ROH, FY23, in ROH, as I have already indicated, some 20 numbers of Sukhoi and 76 numbers of engine, AL-31FP engine, that is Sukhoi engine. Apart from the rotables and repair and overall, and ALH, some around 30 numbers of ALH. So this broadly is the platform for the repair and overall for FY23. This number was for FY22. This is somewhere around, overall of engines, it was somewhere around 80 numbers, and Sukhoi overall was around 20 numbers. These are the platform.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Amit Bhinde from Morgan Stanley. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. My question is one on the margin outlook as your manufacturing deliveries start from F25 onwards. That's one. Second, provisioning, we had been aiming to keep it around 7%, but in Q4 as well, it has been high. So how should we look at it going forward? And third, is there any other tax refund amount that's pending in dispute since 2016 till date?
As far as the tax amount is concerned, more or less everything has been concluded. All the disputes have been settled, so there is nothing left out now. We have received the last of the refund also, sanction or for refund sanction also in the last quarter of the current last financial year. So that is January-March 23. So we don't have anything pending left with the department. So there will not be any further settlement of dispute as far as the IT department is concerned, income tax is concerned. Then on the provisions, yes, 7% is what we are trying to maintain, but we are also trying to be as conservative as possible. The provisions which we have created in the current financial year is all to, certain of the loaned items which we have, got from the Indian airports. We have created a provision because once we start supplying these have to be replaced with our, we'll have to give it back to them. So we have created a provision for that, and again replacement and other charges also we have created some provision. So all of this actual incurrence of actual expenditure, this could be the maximum provision which we have created to see that it is on a conservative basis and there will not be any further impact on the profitability. But as we could see, this expenditure as and when it is incurred, we expect that there could be some saving on these provisions as well, and which could come back as an income. So we expect that the provisions to be substantially reduced in the current financial year, considering the net impact of the withdrawal of provisions which is expected to happen in the current financial year.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Harshit Patel from Equirus Securities. Please go ahead.
Hi sir, thank you very much for the opportunity again. So just wanted to get an idea as to what MiG-21s would contribute towards our overall ROH revenues. Because I think now that we are going to phase them out in next few years, I think that part of the revenues would go away from the ROH sale. Would that understanding be right?
No. I mean, we are not. There is no MiG-21 overall at all as far as HAL is concerned. It is not forming part of our revenue stream at all. So we will not have any impact on the MiG-21 except for the engine R25 engines where we have been doing, and that too in the last financial year it was over. It did not make an impact in the FY 22-23 itself because that we have already that was not contributing a major revenue stream. So this MiG-21 is not having any major impact as far as it is. As far as HAL is concerned, it is hardly 100 crores which we are doing and doesn't make a real impact on us. The engines part of it alone, and the aircraft is no aircraft repair and overall at all.
And it's likely to be phased out from 25 onwards.